Hello Stampers, it's Debbie with Stamp It with Debbie. Sorry I'm a little late today. I was having some trouble getting connected and I'm finally connected though, and I'd like to welcome you to Facebook Live tonight. And bear with me while I just get set up and make sure that we're all ready to go. All right, looks like I'm all set here. I'd like to again welcome you to Facebook Live tonight, and I'm going to be doing a special fun fold card using the Painted Poppies set and the Peaceful Moments stamp set. And there's going to be just a little bit of stamping, more folding and scoring. So I did post the dimensions earlier, so if you're following along, just leave me a note and let me know that you're following along. That way I can kind of keep an eye if anyone has any questions along the way. I'll kind of slow down a little bit and check the messages. I don't usually do that, but since I'm asking you to create along with me, I want to make sure that if you have any questions along the way, I can answer them. So looks like we have a couple people on here, and I would like to say welcome. If you're new to following me here on Facebook, I would like to say welcome, and I hope that you'll hit the follow button and follow along with different things that we like to share, inspire each other, and contests and different things that we do here. And if you have followed me before, thank you so much for spending your Tuesday evening with me. In my mind, I sometimes have to stop and think, what day is it? Because I get thrown off track since we're home every day now. So, again, thank you for joining me. I want to show you the Fun Fold card. I have seen this one before, but I haven't seen it in a while, and I thought the Painted Poppies was a great card to do this with. So this is what it looks like from the outside. It does fit into a regular envelope. And it's one of these. I'm going to try to show it so that you can see it. So it pops up. Let me do this one more time. There's a little card inside. You pull that. It pops up and then it stands. So this is what it would look like if it was standing. I'll show you this way. So I'm going to move those stamp sets out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'll tell you once again, even though I posted it, what you need to create this special fun fold card. I can't really make it so that you'll be able to see it, so I'll just put it there on the corner. Again, thank you for joining me. So what you're going to need is a piece of cardstock. This is cut at 4 1/4 by 11. Now just know, you could make this bigger if you have a bigger envelope. All you need to do, the scoring will be exactly the same. You'll just make your card base wider. So if you wanted a 6-inch card, you could make the same card. You just need to make, instead of 4 1/4, you'd make it 6 inches by 11, and you'll still score in all the same exact places. Okay, and then you also need a coordinating piece of cardstock, and this one is cut at 3 1/4 by 5 1/4, and a piece to go on top. We're going to do our stamping. That's 3 inches by 5 inches, and I have 4 pieces of designer paper, and this is cut at 4 inches by 1 1/2, and this is the paper that coordinates with the Painted Poppies. It's beautiful. If you haven't seen it, I forgot to bring the whole pack, but it is still available. And if you are thinking about getting it, I would get it right away, because it will sell out and then it's not going to be available anymore in the new catalog. We also have 2 pieces at 4 inches by 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to set these aside real quick, and I'm going to get my scoreboard. And we are going to put this in the long way, the 11-inch side. Let me grab my stylus here. We're going to score at 1 inch, 2 3/4, 3 3/4, 5 1/2, 7 1/4, 8 1/4, whoops, and 10. So again, if you're following along, I'll tell you ooh, Jamie, thanks for the love. I miss seeing you too. I'm going to give you all the dimensions one more time in case you're writing them down or in case you were scoring. They are 1 inch, 2 3/4, 3 3/4, 5 1/2, 7 1/4, 8 1/4, and 10. And then we're all done scoring. Ooh, sorry about that. I thought I had my scoreboard secured and it definitely was not. Now we need to use our bone folder. And we're going to fold all these lines up. I don't know if anybody else is following along except Tony. I see Tony's following along. Tony, I'm going to give you just a minute. I forgot to tell you that you need a paper trimmer. So if anyone else is following along, I'm going to give you just a minute to get your paper trimmer. So I'll hold on 1 second. So while I'm waiting for anybody else, because I did say scoreboard, but I forgot to say paper trimmer. So I'll give you just 1 minute. I'm actually going to go in my office and I'm going to grab a piece of washi tape and I'll be right back. Okay, I have my washi tape. Hopefully Tony's back and, oh, she has one here. All right. All right, now what we need to do for this is we need to create, since I don't have a piece to show you, we need to create a cut in the middle of this cardstock so that our piece can go up and down. And so where we're going to do that is this middle score, which is at 5 1/2. And we are going to, I'm going to try to get this in here exactly so you can see. Now what I did on my scoring tool is I lined it up and I'm going to stick a piece of washi tape so it doesn't move. I have the 5 1/2 inch score line right in the cutting part of my blade, like where my blade is going to cut. Now you want to leave about 1/2 inch on each side. You don't want to cut all the way through. You want to leave about 1/2 inch. And so for my particular cutter, this one's from Stampin' Up, I'm going to bring the cutting blade over and I have this set to 1. And I'm going to stand up so that I don't cut this in the wrong place. I'm at 1 1/2 right here. Okay, I'm at 1 1/2. And this is 5 1/4, so I'm going to go to 4 3/4. So I'm just going to cut down to 4 3/4. So you just need one little slit there, enough to get a piece of paper. Now this is not the kind of card that you could do a lot of layers on that little piece of card. This piece that pops up, you would not want to put rhinestones or any kind of ribbon or anything on it, any embellishment, because when you're bringing it through, it's just going through that little slit that we just cut. So if you want to add the rhinestones, you could add it to this part here. So you can see we have the little slit there, and I'm hoping that's big enough. Let me check. I'm going to put I'll put the biggest piece of paper through it. Yep. So that's what you want to check before. You're going to take your coordinating piece of cardstock because it's bigger. Make sure it goes through that hole. Okay, so now we need to, before we put it all together, we're going to do some stamping. We're going to put our designer paper onto our card. Now, when we're putting it together, these two pieces here on the end are going to come around, and here they are right here facing each other. They're going to go right together. So where we're going to put the cardstock or the designer paper is on all the pieces around. So we don't need it on those two little ends. Again, if you are using a piece that is directional, you want to be mindful of the direction that the paper is going as you put it on your card here. And so I'm just going to use some adhesive and put my pieces all the way up. And the reason that I decided to use designer paper, you wouldn't necessarily need it on the bottom, but let me fold this up real quick. So when someone gets this in the mail, they'll see the designer paper here, but if you didn't have any on the back, it would look a little naked. So that's why I decided to put the pieces on the top and on the bottom. All right, so I'm almost done here. So again, while I'm doing this, I'll just remind you that if you place an order through my online store, and there still are plenty of products in the last chance and some really good products on the clearance rack, if you place an order of $50 or more, I'm going to send you a free gift from me this month. And all you need to do is use the host code, and I'll go ahead and put that in the comments above as soon as the video is over. So this part is all done. Now what we want to do before we actually go ahead and assemble this, because we need to have this piece done and put inside of our card before we go. So I'm going to do a little stamping. And I'm going to use my Memento Black. Now this one I did the poppies, and there's a really nice, I actually use it a lot. In the poppy set, there's this piece here, and it's really good for filling in big areas like in the flowers, but in other flower sets that you have. I actually at Easter stamped my little chicks and bunnies, and then I stamped this over. That way I didn't need to color all of them, but they had a little splash of color to them. So that's a good use for that. Now remember, when you're stamping on this, that your first inch is going to be the inch that's buried down in the card here. I'm going to offset mine to the left just a little bit because I want to get my congratulations on here, kind of in the petals there. And then I am going to use my Stampin' Blends markers. I'm going to get my ink out of the way here. And I'm just going to color in the leaf. I thought that that little splotch that I just showed you was a little too big to put over these flowers, but it might not be. I'm just going to try coloring it in and seeing what that looks like, and if I need to add some more color, I will. Now I'm going to use my Rich Razzleberry. Thanks for the love, whoever's sending it to me. I appreciate it. I'm going to use the darker color at the bottom here. And then I'll use the lighter color. Oh, I'm going to put this over here. The Stampin' Blends tend to bleed through a little bit, so I'm trying to hurry and not color outside of the lines. Okay, so there is that. And then I'm not sure how it's going to look, but I'm going to do a little bit of splatter. If I don't like it, I'll know for next time. All right, I'm going to use this one. I thought I was going to use the little one, but I'm actually going to use this one. And I think what I'm going to do is I'll stamp off so it's not quite so, and no one will see that under there because it's going to be hidden. There. I think I like that. I stamped off just so the color wouldn't be so dark so that you couldn't see it and you wouldn't be able to see the flower and the writing, but I think that you still can. So now I'm going to go ahead and put this onto my Blackberry Bliss piece, which is 3 1/4 by 5 1/4. Make sure that's nice and secured. And then you're going to go ahead and put your card right through the center. So put it right through that slit that we made, and then we're going to turn it over. So now this is where I need to get myself oriented here so that I don't put it on the wrong place. Because wouldn't that be horrible if I did that? Okay, we're going to flatten this out. And we're going to put adhesive on here. And you do want a kind of strong adhesive. You could use tear and tape. You could use liquid adhesive. And then this piece here, this is the piece that's coming down from the top, is going to go right over that. And the edge is going to line up. It's going to perfectly line up. The insert piece is now glued down to this little tab that was on here. And you know what? I think I just actually did that wrong. Oh, nope, I did it right. Whew. I was going to say, I told you wrong. Okay, now we're going to do adhesive over this, but only over where this little tab is. You're going to put adhesive over that 1 inch. Now you're going to bring this tab, fold it down. This tab right here is going to be folded down, and you're going to bring it over and meet it up on this side. So now your card is secured. So when you open it up, that's what it's going to look like. Now I did decide that I wanted to add a little bit of twine, and I did that on this one. And so I probably could have put the Poppy Parade ribbon on there, but for right now, since this is what I have is the twine, I think the Poppy Parade ribbon that I used in my projects yesterday, I think it's the woven ribbon, would be really pretty on here. It's a wider band, but this is what I put on the other one, so I think it looks good, and I'm going to wrap it around and put it through twice. And so now I have it through twice. And I'm going to cut it off so I can make a little bow down here. This is a fun card because whoever you send it to, if they have a desk, they could keep it on their desk or in their office, or I know I send my grandma cards, and it would be nice for her to have on her shelf so she can look at it. So there's that. I'm going to just cut the ends off because they're a little bit long. And I'll put my stuff aside here. So let me know what you think. Which one is your favorite? Do you like all of the other poppies, or just like the single poppy? And how about the splotches? Are those good for you? I did do some of the small ones here. So that is my project for today. I will be back again tomorrow with another project for you, and watch tomorrow at the Stamp It with Debbie page because I have some exciting news for you. And just a side note, if you're watching me on YouTube, please be sure and hit the subscribe button, and come on over to Facebook and find me at Stamp It with Debbie facebook.com/Stamp It with Debbie. Sorry. So it looks like, a couple people like them both. Tony, did you get yours done? I think Tony is the only one following along. And Tony, I would love to see the card that you create, or anybody else if you're doing this. I'll post a link at the top of the page saying, if you are creating something this week, go ahead and leave a page or a picture and inspire us, because we all need some inspiring every once in a while. And how about you give some inspiration and we'll give some inspiration, then we'll all be super crafty together. So again, thank you so much for joining me today and for crafting along with me if you are. And I will see you again tomorrow, same time, same place, for another fun project. Thanks again for stopping by, and I'll see you again real soon.